Happy Tuesday, Miami. This is Miami Condo Exchange. It is a data, a metrics, a trends, and overview podcast, primarily about statistics to identify what's going on right now, real time in the South Florida Tri-County market of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. We're going to be talking condo stat. One of the cornerstones of this particular podcast is going to be our weekly Miami Condo Cliff Index. The index was launched on January the 1st of 2025 to run in unison with what we were calling the 2025 Florida Condo Association Financial Cliff. What is the cliff? The cliff is a situation where people are living in condos, and because costs are going up and there's an inability to sell, more and more people are sort of feeling as if they're on the edge and they don't know if they can hold on. Inevitably, what happens during one of these cliff situations, and we saw it during the Great Recession, what happens is some people stop paying. They either can't afford to pay or decide not to pay. Therefore, it shifts the burden over to everybody else who is in the condominium association. So a cornerstone of our podcast is, again, our index. Miami Condo Cliff Index. It's a overview of effectively 23 markets in the Tri-County, South Florida area for overall condos, that's all condos, as well as vintage condos. So we're going to be talking about that today. We're also going to be talking about some statistics we just ran going all the way back to the summer buying season, which is going to be May through October. What happened? What's going on? And how does this current cycle since the pandemic high of 2021, how does it compare to where we were in the great South Florida condo boom of 2002 through 2011? We're going to tell you. We've been running the numbers. We ran it through AI based on some stuff we saw. And I'll tell you what, Gemini's AI, they found the same exact thing we did. So we will fill you in on the blanks. This is a live podcast. I do these every workday at 4 p.m. Miami time. And typically, we're going to give you great information. Now, if you want to watch this on demand after the fact, unfortunately or fortunately, you're going to have to join the Miami Condo Investing Club because these videos will be available on demand. There's going to be some editing that takes place, but they will be available on demand for anybody who maybe wants to watch them, go through some of the statistics. So if you're fortunate enough to be here at 4 o'clock, you're getting it for free. And if you can't make it at 4 o'clock, unfortunately, you're going to have to watch it on demand, and with on demand comes a VIG, and that is membership with the club. If you do decide to join the club, what you will get is you're going to get a whole series of what I would call market-moving, real-time information about the South Florida condo market. You're not going to find it anywhere else. We are looking at it objectively. Our take will be from an investor perspective. Much of the information that's put out there is coming from the south side of the industry, and it's primarily on behalf of sellers or owners. Most of it will be put out on behalf of people in the real estate industry who are trying to make a commission. What our role is basically to share the information to you, give you that real-time information. So if you are a DIYer, you want to do it on your own, maybe you are a listing agent, you don't know if you should take on a listing, maybe you're a lender, maybe you're a regulator, maybe you're trying to get a sense of what's going on in the condo market. Nobody tracks the condo market closer than we do, and we've been doing it for quite some time. I got down here in 1993. And was writing about real estate, was writing about trade, writing about banking for about 13 years. Then I broke off and I set up my own company at the time called Condo Vultures. And based on what I'm seeing on the statistics coming out right now, I might need to dust off those wings and get back in the air and start looking for some of these distressed deals. Who am I? I'm Peter Zalewski. I'm a condo consultant. I'm an expert witness. I'm also the founder of the Miami Condo Investing Club. If you should choose to join the Miami Condo Investing Club, you're going to get access to all our paywalled articles. We've had the club around for about 2 years, created more than 900 articles to date with all kinds of statistics. Same type of data you would get on Wall Street. So if you really want to dig deep and figure out what's going on, you don't necessarily believe everything else that's being out there, we'd encourage you to check us out. Maybe you are a believer in what's being put out there. It's always good to sort of get a different opinion to give you some context. I will tell you some of the work that we're doing, especially with these podcasts and other things, what we're finding is the industry starting to push back. Miami Realtor Association was recently published in a story in South Florida Agent Magazine in which they said there's a myth of a bubble, and they want to set the record straight. Well, we're here to tell you, we're going to show you the data. We're going to tell you how we track it. We're going to give you guidelines. When's the last time somebody talked to you about a bubble? They talk about a capitulation. They talked about a boom, a bust, all that type of stuff. But they didn't tell you what their definition is. Well, we've done it. We've put it all on the record. You can find it all at miamicondo.club. We also look at cap rates. We try to figure out if you were to go in and buy a condo, what's a back-of-the-napkin cap rate? To figure out an overall cap rate, it's a little complicated. You got to do this, you got to do that, blah, 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 blah. So what we did is we made a real simple version of it. We simply take the gross rent. We then take your expenses, which would be comprised of property taxes and maintenance fees. You put those two together, the property taxes and maintenance fees, you minus that from what your gross run is, it gives you a ballpark figure. Now you know on the back of a napkin, if you're out there sitting and having lunch and you're trying to figure out, should I do due diligence? Is it worth going to look at it? Well, we'll give you some perspective. But beyond that, we will also tell you whether it's investable or it's not investable. We come up with a guideline, a benchmark of what exactly you should be watching for, and this gives you some sense. Should I get off the couch? Should I cancel my appointments and go see a property? Now, this is a real quick and easy way to sort of get a sense of it. You will have to do initial or extended due diligence after the fact, but at least it saves you a lot of time. And why do you want to save time? Because there are 28,250 condo associations in the state of Florida, 1.2 million units down here in the Tri-County, South Florida area of Miami-Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County. How many are there? Well, there's about 13,000 associations with 610,000 units. So the point to looking for a condo in South Florida is to eliminate, get rid of, eliminate, because there's so much to choose from. We always say, if you're looking for a condo, find the building first. Once you find a building that meets all your parameters, then you spend the time and you look for a unit. Too many people run around like they're herding cats or chasing chickens, and they're looking at this unit and that unit and that unit and this unit. They finally negotiate, they get it under contract, they get all of the declaration of condominiums, the rules, everything else, and they realize this building's not going to work, and they just completely wasted their time. Our perspective is find the buildings. Once you got the building, then you drill down and you look for the unit that's going to make sense from a pricing perspective. So that's where you get part of the club. Also, as part of the club, we do monthly meetings. Once a month, we get together on the second Wednesday of every month, and we will do an overview about where we were, where we are, and where we're going. I did one of those monthly meetings last week and came out with my base case for where we're going to be going in the 2025-2026 South Florida winter buying season, which is effectively going to be November through April. And I'll just tell you a real quick overview. I'm bullish. I am pound the table bullish that you need to start looking. Now, that might be a shock to some people who know me. They all say I'm Chicken Little, I'm a pessimist, I'm a bear. Well, I'm actually bullish. Why? Because everything that we're looking at suggests prices are coming down. And as prices come down, that is going to create some situations, some opportunities where you might want to actually be kicking the tires and taking a shot. I ended our monthly meeting by telling people, start to low ball. Don't worry about disrespecting anybody. Don't worry about somebody getting annoyed. Low ball them. Eventually, that seller who's not able to sell, they're going to have to make a price recalibration. And what that means is they're going to need to cut pricing if they want to get out of it. And if they don't want to get out of it, at least for that price, they are facing in 2026, they're facing mandatory capital reserve requirements, meaning in the past, condo association could defer the necessary costs. Now, because of the Surfside condo collapse, they can't defer it anymore. Most of them, there's a couple loopholes, but generally speaking, condo associations will not be able to defer. And because of that, you're seeing maintenance fees go up, you're seeing special assessments spike, and insurance, oh wow, that is extremely high. There was a study recently that came out by the First Service Residential, this big property management company. And what they found is in Miami-Dade County, a high-rise condo, 7 stories or more, the maintenance fee is $1.15 a square foot. If you look at it in Broward and Palm Beach County, that maintenance fee is going to be coming in $1.02. But here's the shocking part. Shocking part is in Miami-Dade County, 20% of your maintenance fee every month, it goes towards insurance. What about Broward and Palm Beach County? 25%. What's the national average according to First Service? 10%. So you can see we have a real issue, whether it comes with insurance, it has to do with maintenance fees, special assessments, and it's basically much more costly to live in a condo right now because for too many years, people simply deferred the cost that was necessary to maintain these buildings. And now, because of the Surfside collapse back in June of 2021, where nearly 100 people died and $1 billion was paid out to the families of the victims, now the insurance companies say, we're not going to insure it unless we know exactly what's there and we know that it's being maintained. And that is